Another witch's storm.
Oh, Ghost, where you at, OG?
Yeah.
I love Lord of Wolves. Because I love Destiny too. Because it's my favorite game. Thank you, Mr. Con Man.
Of course.
This is Lord of Wolves, and this is the buff that they gave to Lord of Wolves and or slash rework. They really liked how Choir 1 was performing. They're like, yo, let's inject some of that Choir 1 juice into Lord of Wolves magazines, and let's crank out the deeps. Because let me tell you fellas, this thing, it's pretty darn absurd. Now, before we jump straight into the clips, I do just briefly want to talk about the buff a little bit more as to why Lord of Wolves is doing just obscene amounts of chaos. Well, there's always option A. It might be bugged. And option 2 is the buff. So the main thing now is that the Release the Wolves exotic perk now triggers on hip fire instead of the special reload. So you just hip firing it for its juicer form, which is obviously it's firing fully automatic, greatly increased damage and rate of fire, and reduced accuracy and range. But fully auto and greatly increased damage and rate of fire is the juice. The catalyst now allows for the reload and stability boost to be fully built in, and when Release the Wolves is active, so when you're hip firing it, dealing damage is going to scorch targets. And then with ADS, defeating targets spread scorch to nearby combatants, but we're not looking at that. And now that we have a bit of an idea as to why Lord of Wolves is behaving like this, we can now roll the clips. Now, I just want to say the clips aren't anything like crazy at all. I haven't had time to go ahead and take this thing like across the entire game and try and sweep it with Lord of Wolves just yet, but enough to give you a demonstration as to what Lord of Wolves is really doing now. And after the clips, we'll go ahead and briefly talk about the setup, just because no matter what it is, even if it's just a simple little damage clip, people always ask or want to know what's the setup, what's the build. So I'll briefly go over that. Spoiler, Sanguine. Let's roll the clips. Why is he all the way over there? That's fine. Oh. That's a little insane. Hey there, buddy. Hey there, bucko. I didn't, dude, my damage rotation's peak! Good.
Shit books. And chunks. Little chunks.
This fucking gun is doing 3 million and I still have more ammo!
Oh. Damn.
It's 2 people.
I feel like I could have put a weakened grenade on sooner and hit more crits.
I wasn't even aiming for the crits.
Nice. And that's hit the well.
I invited
Did you
Jay.
get a third? Okay.
I swear if we hit it here, I'm gonna laugh. Dude. Alright, OGs, let's do a brief little explanation on the setup and everything like that. Now, obviously, this video is mainly focused on Lord of Wolves, and you'll notice that in the video I didn't have the rocket on, I had a sword on, mainly just because like I wanted the clips to show just how strong Lord of Wolves is by itself. But if we're talking about a full-on setup with the damage rotation in mind, the reskinned Heathen and its perk pulls absolutely perfect for what we would try to do. Solar heavy with the juicer solar special. Yes sir, yes sir. Envious Arsenal bait and switch. We take those all the way, my friend. Remember, Envious Arsenal must always be enhanced. Now, like I said earlier in the video, Sanguine is our exotic. Shouldn't come into any surprise as to why we're on a Warlock in this video in the clips. Sanguine Warlocks frag out like crazy. Now, I know you might be curious about the mods and everything like that. Now, look, OG. Siphons. I have a heavy-handed, a fastball, and a solar or a harmonic dexterity. It's a solar dexterity. You get what I'm saying, though. Heavy ammo finder, scavs on the boots, and then the terrific trio of class item mods, proximity ward, powerful attraction, and the GOAT special finisher. Now, of course, something I do want to mention here is that when you're not in a damage phase, obviously you don't have to have Sanguine on. Okay, you could totally get away with running like Karnsteins, or what I like to do in some situations is I actually like to just run bracers and then hot swap to a loadout with actual Sanguine, and then once I drop the well, just manually swap over to Prismatic. But if you don't feel like doing all those extra swaps, in most content you can get away with just running around with a Sanguine on naturally regardless. If you're asking about the good old setup, obviously we need Well of Radiance. Most important that we have this. Good super too. I would say you can kind of get away with any sort of aspects. Icarus Dash, Helion Icarus Dash, Touch of Flame, He Rises. Literally any aspects you want, but we like Dash to move. I have on Healing Grenades, just keep me alive. Healing Rift, Celestial Fire, and then I just got a pretty basic support style setup, right? We have Searing, Lord of Wolves Scorches, take that, Torches to make Radiant with Celestial Fire, Benevolence to regen all of our abilities. That's why we have Healing Grenade, Healing Rift, and Celestial Fire. Get the most out of Ember of Benevolence. And then Mercy for extra resto when we pick up Fire Sprites. Big dubs, big dubs. And then after you drop your well and you switch to Prismatic, the only thing you just need to make sure that you have is you need to have Song of Flame for Sanguine to actually proc. Solar, that's what we do. That's what we do. And then you need Facet of Courage, Arc, Solar, and Void abilities, deal increased damage to targeted afflicted with darkness debuffs. When you're in your own well, convert your solar weapon damage into solar ability damage. That's why we swap to Prismatic. And you have things like Arcane Needles or a Chill Clip weapon. Make your damage be really, really juiced. Everything else in your Prismatic does not really matter, just you need Song of Flame, Arcane Needle, Facet of Courage. And yes, I know this looks kind of disgusting, but you can just do that. And then boom, problem solved. But yeah, dude, Lord of Wolves is absolutely insane. Works wonders on a Sanguine. One thing that is worth mentioning, if you are about that swap life, Lunafactions can work wonders as something you drop the well with before you swap to a loadout with Sanguine. For example, something you could do is you could save a loadout with Lunas on your solar setup, and then you could save the Sanguine on the Prismatic setup, and then just swap loadouts like that. That way your Lord of Wolves will have greatly increased range, which is very, very helpful for this weapon. But for most part, this game's Mickey, so you can totally get away with just running a Sanguine on in any piece of content. And definitely have Sanguine Prismatic for any damage scenario as a Warlock. Man, this is a good tip just for anybody out there, for all of my fellow Warlock homies. We run Sanguine swaps over here. Absolutely. Lord of Wolves, welcome to the meta.